Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into international trade.
Oh, interesting.
Specifically, how Morocco is using tech to kind of like streamline the whole process.
Right.
We've got some fascinating source material here talking all about their system, PortNet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. PortNet, it's way more than just a website.
Hmm.
It's called the Guichet Unique,
But
or single window for import and export in Morocco.
window.
So
No,
think of it like a central hub, yeah, connecting everyone involved, from businesses to customs.
so instead of like mountains of paperwork and running around to different agencies,
Yeah.
you can just manage everything through one digital platform.
Exactly, that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
To simplify what's usually a really complex process.
That sounds amazing for anyone who's ever dealt with, the headache of international trade.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking authorizations, document management, even payments.
Wow.
All handled seamlessly within PortNet.
That level of convenience has to be a huge advantage for businesses in Morocco, right?
Oh, definitely. One of the main goals of PortNet is to make Morocco really attractive to global businesses
Right.
by cutting down on bureaucracy and making trade, well, more efficient.
Makes sense.
They've even got 24/7 container inspection scheduling so businesses can, keep things moving, even on weekends.
204/7 container inspection scheduling.
Ah.
Wow. Okay, so we've established that PortNet is this, like, comprehensive platform connecting all these different players. But what kinds of specific services does it actually offer?
Okay, well, let's say you're a textile exporter
Okay.
trying to get your goods to Europe.
Yeah.
One of the biggest time wasters used to be getting space on a cargo ship.
Right. Yeah.
But with PortNet, you can compare schedules, book your cargo space, manage all the documents all in one spot.
That sounds like a game changer, especially for shipments where time is really important.
Exactly. It really streamlines those logistical hurdles.
So that's for exports. What about imports? Anything specific that stands out on that side?
Yeah, so there's a service for container weighing management.
Container weighing. Okay.
Might seem like a small detail, but accurate container weights are crucial for safety and compliance when you're shipping things.
Yeah, I can see that.
So by managing this digitally, PortNet helps make sure everything is accurate and transparent, benefits everyone in the end.
Right. It's all about simplifying those essential processes that used to be such a pain.
Exactly. Make trade more efficient, more transparent, and ultimately that reduces costs, improves delivery times for businesses.
It makes a lot of sense. But it feels like there's a bigger picture here too, right? How PortNet is positioning Morocco in the global trade landscape.
Oh, absolutely. It's part of this global shift towards trade facilitation and digitalization.
Right.
By embracing these trends, Morocco is basically saying, hey, we're open for business.
Yeah. Come trade with us. It's easy.
Exactly. And that has huge implications for attracting foreign investment and boosting their economy.
It's like they're building this digital bridge to the global marketplace. Not just attracting foreign businesses, but also empowering Moroccan businesses to compete internationally.
Absolutely. PortNet is leveling the playing field by simplifying trade and even giving them access to valuable data insights.
Data insights. What kind of data are we talking about?
Well, they have this feature called TradeSense.
Okay, trade sense.
So imagine you're an importer bringing in agricultural products. TradeSense can give you real-time data on market trends, price changes, even potential disruptions in the supply chain.
Wow.
So you can make smarter decisions about when to buy, how much to import, which suppliers to use. It's like having your finger on the pulse of the market.
It's like having a team of analysts working for you 24/7.
Exactly. That kind of data-driven decision-making can give businesses a real edge in today's fast-paced trading environment.
Okay, so we've talked big picture trade, we've seen some of the key services, and we've even touched on data analytics. What else is there to uncover about PortNet?
Well, one of the things that really struck me is how they've gone beyond just, digitizing existing processes. They've actually created entirely new features that make the experience even better and streamline the whole trade ecosystem.
New features, interesting. Could you give us some examples?
Sure, so they have something called Subscription Conjointa, which lets businesses register for both PortNet and customs all at once.
Yeah.
Before you had to do separate registrations, which, just added another layer of complexity.
Oh, yeah.
But this single registration, it not only saves time and effort, but also reduces the chance of errors in your documentation.
Makes a lot of sense. So it sounds like they're constantly looking for ways to improve the user experience and just get rid of those unnecessary roadblocks.
Exactly. And what about tracking shipments once they're on the move? Does PortNet have anything for that?
That's a good question.
They do. They've got this real-time cargo tracking feature called Track and Trace.
Track and trace, okay.
Lets businesses follow their shipments every step of the way. That kind of transparency is super valuable for managing logistics, knowing about potential delays, and keeping customers in the loop.
Track and trace. Yeah, that's a game changer, especially if you're dealing with time-sensitive goods. No more guessing games,
Yeah,
eh?
exactly. It's all about giving businesses information and control. And it goes even further. They've got this system called PortGate that makes port access totally digital.
Wait, digital port access?
Yeah, trucks and vehicles can enter and exit the port without any paper documents or manual checks. It's amazing how technology is changing even the physical spaces of trade.
Portgate sounds incredibly efficient.
Mhm.
Must really reduce congestion and waiting times at the port, right?
Right.
Making the whole logistics chain smoother.
Exactly. It's all part of this larger trend toward smart ports and optimizing logistics.
PortNet is so much more than just a website. It's this entire digital ecosystem reshaping how trade happens in Morocco.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating example of how digital transformation can, completely change an industry. And it's having this ripple effect, with other African nations looking to Morocco like, hey, how'd you do that?
It's inspiring to see how they're really pushing the boundaries. But hold on, we've covered a lot, but I'm sure there's still more to discover about PortNet. What else have you got for us?
Oh, there's always more to learn. We haven't even talked about the training and support resources that PortNet offers.
Oh, right. We need to delve into that too. It's one thing to build a platform, but you need to make sure people know how to use it effectively.
Absolutely. And that's where training and support come in.
Okay, everyone, we'll be right back to dive deeper into those training and support resources offered by PortNet. Welcome back, everyone. Before the break, we were talking about those awesome features and the impact of Morocco's PortNet system. Now let's get into the training and support stuff they offer. I'm really curious, like what kind of programs do they have and who are they for?
Well, they've got a whole bunch of training programs, actually. They're designed for a pretty wide range of users, from beginners who are just starting out with international trade all the way to those seasoned pros who want to stay ahead of the game. And they offer courses both online and in person, which is great for flexibility, right?
Yeah, totally. So it sounds like they're really dedicated to making sure everyone can learn and benefit from the platform no matter how experienced they are or where they're located.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Are there any specific courses that come to mind?
Yeah, there's one that caught my eye. It's called Electronic Management of Import Titles.
Okay.
And it dives into like all the details of handling import documents digitally. That's essential stuff for anyone who's importing goods into Morocco, right?
Yeah, for sure. Getting those documents right is super important. You don't want any delays or complications, and it's probably so much easier to manage them electronically through PortNet than doing it the old-fashioned way with paper.
Exactly. And the course doesn't just teach you how to use the PortNet system for that. It also gives you a deeper understanding of the regulations and best practices. So that's a huge help for businesses, especially if they're new to the Moroccan market.
It sounds like these programs aren't just about, clicking the right buttons on the website. It's about really understanding the whole process, right?
Yeah.
Equipping businesses with the knowledge and confidence to navigate international trade.
Exactly. And it's not a one-time thing either. The world of trade is always changing. So PortNet makes sure to keep their training up to date with the latest trends in tech.
That's a great approach, right? And make sure businesses are always in the know and ready for whatever comes their way in the global marketplace. It's like they're building a whole community of well-informed traders.
That's a really good way to put it. And it's not just about formal courses. PortNet also offers ongoing support through online forums, help desks, even dedicated account managers. So they've really got this complete support system for their users.
It's really impressive. They're going above and beyond to make sure their users succeed. I think that customer service award we talked about earlier really speaks volumes.
Right. It shows how committed they are to making their users happy. They're not just building a platform that works, they actually care about the people using it.
Yeah, that makes sense. The more comfortable and confident businesses are using PortNet, the more they'll actually use it and take advantage of all it has to offer.
Exactly. It's a win-win. Businesses get this smooth and efficient trading experience, and Morocco benefits from more economic activity and being more competitive globally.
Okay, so we've looked at the training and support, which is amazing. But let's zoom out for a second. PortNet is just one example of how these digital tools are changing international trade globally, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's all part of this bigger movement towards making trade easier and more digital, and that's happening all over the world.
And it's having a huge impact, making trade more efficient and transparent. It's also opening up all these opportunities for businesses of all sizes to join the global market.
It's really an exciting time to be a part of international trade. And PortNet is like leading the charge, showing what tech can do to totally transform industries and boost economies.
It's a story of innovation, collaboration, and progress. And it's still unfolding, as
Yeah.
these digital tools keep evolving and new tech emerges. I can't wait to see how they shape the future of trade and connect the world in even more amazing ways.
Yeah, the possibilities are pretty much endless, and it's up to us to use tech for good to create a trading system that's fair and benefits everyone.
That's a great point. All right, I think it's about time we wrap up this deep dive into the world of PortNet and the future of international trade.
It has been a really fascinating discussion. I've enjoyed it.
Me too. And a huge thank you to our listeners for joining us. We hope you've learned a lot and are as excited about the future as we are.
Remember, trade is always changing, so keep learning, stay informed, and never stop exploring.
Until next time, happy trading. It's really amazing how something as complicated as international trade can be made so much easier and more efficient, right? Just by using technology and working together.
It shows how being innovative isn't just about like coming up with new gadgets or software, it's about looking at those real-world problems and finding solutions that help everybody.
Yeah, and with PortNet, it's clear that they've really thought about the user experience, making the platform not just powerful but also easy to use, which is pretty rare.
Yeah, for sure. It's not just digitizing old ways of doing things. They've like totally reimagined the whole system, taking into account what businesses need, what government agencies need, and even their international partners.
It's like this symphony of technology, policy, and human ingenuity, all coming together to make trade smoother, more efficient, and in the end, more prosperous.
And that's what makes this story so cool, right? It's not just about the tech itself. It's about the people using it. It's about giving businesses the power to do more, helping economies grow, and connecting countries in a way that benefits everyone.
Speaking of connecting countries, it seems like PortNet could inspire other countries to do something similar, right? Like developing economies that want to, be more involved in global trade.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, PortNet is a great example of what can happen when a country really commits to digital transformation and making trade easier. It's like a model for success that others can learn from and adapt to their own needs.
It's like this ripple effect of innovation, spreading those benefits of digital trade beyond just Morocco. It'll be really interesting to see how this all develops in the next few years, what new things come up as more countries embrace these digital platforms.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time. It's like we're at the beginning of this whole new era of global trade, one that's, more inclusive, more efficient, and more connected.
And to think, it all started with this idea of making trade simpler and giving businesses in Morocco more power. It really shows that even small steps can have a huge impact when they're driven by, innovation and a real desire to make things better.
Absolutely. It reminds us that we all have a part to play in shaping the future, whether it's, creating new technology, making smart policies, or even just being open to new ways of thinking and doing business.
Well said. Well, on that inspiring note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into PortNet and the future of international trade.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a really interesting discussion.
Yeah, it has. And a big thank you to all our listeners for joining us today. We hope you learned something new and are, feeling as inspired as we are.
And remember, trade is always changing, so keep being curious, stay informed, and never stop exploring.
Until next time, happy trading.